What's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in and watching this video. Today I decided that I'm going to winterize my boat, and so I figured why not make a video and show you how I like to winterize my outboard motor. There's different ways of doing it. I feel like my way is pretty simple, and thought maybe some of you could get a tip here or there and might help you out, or if you got tips that you would like to share, I would greatly appreciate that. So yeah, if you enjoy this video, please hit that subscribe button and like and comment. I'd greatly appreciate it. I am nowhere near done fishing for the year, but I figured with the temps dropping, I've been pretty busy. It's been tough to get out, so I figured I might as well winterize my outboard before it gets too cold. And so yeah, that's what we're going to do today, and let's get started. Okay, so I am going to show you the 3 things you need to get in order to do this type of winterization. The first thing you're going to need to get is some stable. Now, my boat has an internal tank, so I can't take my gas tank out. So what I do is, the first thing I do is I fill up my gas tank and I put stable 360 marine in, mixed it with the gas. That way it sits through the winter and it doesn't cause any harm, gunking up and stuff like that. It's just an ethanol treatment, works really well. I've never had problems with gas. So yeah, just get some stable. The 360 marine is for outboard engines. So first off, you're going to use some of that. The other thing you're going to need is some fogging oil. This stuff you can find pretty much anywhere, engine store. I go to Napa because it's right up in town. AutoZone, Walmart, everywhere pretty much has this fogging oil. And you're going to need this little red nozzle. And you're just going to use this stuff to spray in the carb, and you're going to coat your spark plugs. And all this does really is it coats your carbs, and it's going to make sure that water doesn't get in there and freeze and cause ice. So this fogging is just going to lube up all your internals for your motor. So that's the second thing you're going to need. And then lastly, you're going to need some gear lube. The last step I do when I winterize my boat is to change out all my gear lube. I drain the old and I put new in. I do that every fall, and all that does is it helps your gears not overheat and wear down in your lower unit. So yeah, this Quicksilver stuff is made mostly for Mercury Mercruiser stern drives. My motor is a 40 horsepower force motor, but it's made by Mercury Marine. So this stuff I've always had good success with. So that's the last thing you're going to do. And I highly advise to get this gear lube pump. One year I tried to go without it and just put a straight tip nozzle on this, and it was a pain in the butt. So this gear lube pump helps out tremendously. I highly advise you get the pump, and you just pretty much, it's just threaded on the end. You thread it into your lower unit, and it just makes it so much easier to pump that lower unit full of gear lube. So yep, so that's the basic 3 things that you need. Well, 4 things, but that's pretty much it. So let's get started. I am going to fill my gas tank up, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so like I said, I have my gas tank filled up, and the next step, you just got to add some stable 360 marine stabilizer. This bottle says 1 ounce of stabilizer treats 10 gallons. I have an 8-gallon tank, so I don't even need an ounce, but I'm gonna add an ounce because it really doesn't hurt anything having a little bit extra. So I'm just gonna fill this top up, and I'm gonna add an ounce of stable into my gas tank, and we'll move on. So now we are going to hook the Porta Lakes up to the engine, and we're going to run it, and we're going to fog it. So let's get it going. Alright, so got my Porta Lakes hooked up to my hose. I'm going to turn the water on, and I'm going to stick these on the motor here. Do not run your motors dry. Never run them dry. Always have water hook up. And we're going to run this for a while, and then I'll tell you what else we are going to do. Alright, so I'm going to let that motor run for about 15 minutes, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the hood off of it, and I'm going to slowly spray fogging oil into the carb. Sorry if it's hard hearing me, but yeah, so I'm going to start spraying that fogging oil into the carburetor, and if you start hearing the motor bog down, stop spraying and just let it build back. All you're doing is letting that fogging oil run in and coat everything and lubricate everything. And then after that, I'm going to pull the gas line off the motor and run it till it's out of gas. And then once it's out of gas, I'll show you what we're gonna do next. Alright, so now the carburetor's fogged out, everything's lubricated on the inside. I ran the gas through it. All we need to do next is I'm going to take the spark plugs off, and I'm going to coat the inside of those holes with the same fogging oil, and all that does, it lubricates back there, and it just helps. It's just a little extra trick that I like to do, just because. Keep those spark plug connections clean, and yeah, so I'm gonna wipe everything down, like my spark plugs and all the grease off, and I'm gonna coat everything with the fogging oil. Then I'm going to put the spark plugs back in. you're just going to snug these spark plugs back up. Don't over tighten them, don't make them really tight. This motor, they don't give you a lot of clearance putting these on with a wrench. I haven't found a better way to do it yet though. Okay. Now you just rehook these up, snap them on. Now you're pretty much done with everything on the inside, so you can go ahead and put your cover back on. Alright, so the next thing we are going to do is we are going to replace the gear lube here in my lower unit. All that does is there's a bunch of lube in here and it lubricates the gears that turn the prop. So we just drain everything out first. It takes about a half hour for it to drain, and then we drain it fully. And all you have to do is first, there is a screw under here, this flathead screw. Unscrew that, lay something down or a small pan. I didn't have a pan, so I just used this heavy-duty trash bag. But yeah, first take that flathead screw out, and you're gonna start seeing gear lube come out pretty slow. And then all you do next is this one up top here. Once you unscrew that, it'll make more like a suction, and it'll push all that gear lube out faster down through the bottom, and it'll just run. It'll run down into that bag, and like I said, it takes about a half hour, and then clean it up, and then we just add new gear lube and call it a day. So let's do it. Take that off of there. All right. So now you can see that gear lube coming out. And one thing I look for, see how nice and blue that is? It's not very cloudy. I don't see any pieces of metal in there. That means that we have a good seal. If you start seeing a lot of cloudy brown stuff, kind of like this, that means water's getting mixed in, which is good. That means all the seals are working good. I don't see any shavings of metal, which means the gears aren't busting down, breaking down. So you want to see nice clear blue gear lube. And so yeah, that's a good sign, and we're just gonna let this we're gonna let that drain, and it'll take 30 minutes and we'll be back. Okay, so now we got pretty much all the gear lube drained out of here, and we are going to add the new stuff. So all you do is you hook your pump up to your bottle, and this yellow piece you're going to screw in. Gonna screw into that bottom. Oops. It kind of gets tangled up. So yeah, just screwed into that bottom. Hole there, threaded hole, and get it tight, and then you're just going to start pumping this gear lube up, and you're just going to watch, and you're going to keep pumping until you start seeing gear lube come out of the top here. Once it starts coming out of the top hole, throw your threaded plug, screw, Phillips head in there, and then after you do that, grab your other I normally pump it I normally do 2 pumps. I grab my other screw and then I take this out and screw it in my bottom, and then you're done. You're done with the lower unit, and after that she's ready for winter. One little tip that I have is make sure you take your batteries out. I put my batteries down in my basement. I have 3 batteries, and I trickle charge them. Put them on a trickle charge, and it helps get the max power out of them. And yeah, anything that you don't want to get cold, like tackle or any tools, just take those out and put them somewhere that won't freeze. So that's just one little tip that I have. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you might have learned something. Maybe there's something I should do else and you think would be a good idea. Shoot a comment and let me know. But yeah, so I'm not done fishing. I'm going to be focusing on steelhead, and I'll be doing some more saugeye fishing here in the fall and winter. And yeah, so if you like this video, please hit that red subscribe button and hit the thumbs up, and I would greatly appreciate it. And thank you for watching.